What's going on, geeks? Mithrandiel here with the Geekly Grind, and today I am very excited to share my thoughts on two recent releases from Wizards of the Coast. We've got, of course, Bigby's Glory of the Giants. So this is the latest source book from Wizards, focusing on, surprise, surprise, giants. And this one was a bit of a surprise. I didn't realize this one was coming out. The Practically Complete Guide to Dragons. So this book includes a lot of really cool information on dragons, using them in games, and just general knowledge on them. So we will start with the Bigby Presents Glory of the Giants. So again, thanks again, Wizards, for sending these over to take a look at. So this book essentially dives into the history of giants, particularly through the eyes of Bigby, as well as Diancastra, who is the daughter of Anam, who is the all-father of giants. So it's a really cool kind of start to the book in sort of recounting the myth of Anam and Diancastra, and essentially Anam's role in kind of creating the world and charging his daughter with a sort of impossible task of retrieving something perfect, and instead she brings him something to try and mold and shape into perfection himself, and he becomes frustrated with it just not being exactly what he wanted, and that in itself has a moral and a story that essentially has Anam grant Diancastra essentially divinity, godhood. And so it's a really cool kind of start to the story when it comes to the lore and the mythos around those characters, and springboards us into learning more about the history of giants. So Bigby, of course, is our narrator for this. Those who aren't aware in the lore, Bigby is a student of Mordenkainen, a very powerful wizard in his own right. And those who have utilized casters in any capacity in the past in D&D are probably very familiar with the spell Bigby's Hand. And it is his namesake. It is the spell that he helped to create. So it is a great person to have sort of narrating this adventure and leading us through the information. So in the book there are, I believe, 6 chapters, and they each sort of walk through the history of the giants, some new feats and abilities that you can use in games to help integrate giants, including a new path for barbarians. So if you wanted to do a barbarian path of the giant, they have a lot of details in here on how to do that. There's also a chapter on role-playing giants, how best to role-play as them, how best to basically integrate the lore and mythos of giants in your stories, as well as loot, of course, treasures that you might find when going through a giant's cave or home, and what you could possibly find there. There are some giant-centric encounters and stories that are included as well. And then, of course, a variety of stat blocks. So plenty of giant-based stat blocks for you to incorporate in your games. And if you're just really interested in having a humongous creature just splatter your party to bits, there are plenty of options here for you. So this is a great addition. Again, if you have always been interested in, similar to Fizban's Treasury of Dragons, which came out not too long ago. And so essentially, if you're looking for a source book in that vein that gives you some more information, lore, just general understanding and knowledge of giants to incorporate in your games, this is a fantastic book to do so. And again, there's some really cool backgrounds, feats to incorporate with your characters if you're just looking to get more of that flair in your game. So really, really cool book. And of course, I'm always very interested when the new books come out to check out their alternative art. And I can tell you, the Bigby's alternative art is a very, very cool piece. It's essentially Bigby playing a game of chess with a frost giant, or a storm giant, I believe. So very, very cool front and back here on the alternative art. I will say, we very appreciative of Wizards' gracious gift of sending us over this review copy and the alternative art. We will be giving away this copy on our Twitter/X feed. I don't know if I can call it Twitter anymore. Elon, don't hurt me. So you can find this on our X feed. We'll be doing a giveaway for this very soon, so keep an eye out for that. So that's the Bigby Glory of the Giants book. Again, this other book, the Practically Complete Guide to Dragons, I was not expecting this in the shipment, so it was sort of a pleasant surprise. This book is told through the eyes of Sindri Suncatcher, and this is a much more simplistic guide. Not to say that it's not still valuable and like an interesting read, and in fact, I would argue it's definitely one of the most digestible source books and addendums to the 5e system that you can ask for. But it definitely does not have the same rigor as Fizban's Treasury of Dragons. Like, it doesn't have that same level of detail. So if you see this on the shelf or you see it online and you're like, oh, I want to pick that up and incorporate it in my games, that's not what this book is. What this book is a very kind of high level overview of what dragons are, quite literally. What are dragons in this world? How do their layers work? How they live in layers, what kind of attacks and actions they use, very general kind of overviews on strategies for the dragons, etc. And then beyond that, it kind of goes into the various colored dragons, how they behave as wormlings, how they behave as adults, their general characteristics and personalities, and that sort of thing. So that's what this book is. And, to be sure, there's plenty of amazing art in this book as well, as has come to be expected from Wizards, right? So throughout this book, you can expect a lot of really cool art and detail for various creatures, including Tiamat, of course, the Dragon Queen. But even from here, like you can see, it's just it's almost like it's like a kid's book. And so, again, very, very approachable, very digestible, and, is really something that would be great if you're like, okay, I just want to get a good grasp on the various colors at a very high level and establish a firm foundation of understanding of how dragons interact in the world, how they behave, how they use their magic, how they attack, and that sort of thing, how their magic works, why being in the layer is great for them, etc., etc. So, again, very, very high level stuff, but doesn't mean it's any less enjoyable. I would recommend this more for younger readers. So, if you've got a preteen or a teen who's really into Dungeons and Dragons, this could be a really great read for them. If you're a seasoned dungeon master, you might still enjoy this book. Don't get me wrong, but just know what you're getting going into it. You are not getting a kind of rigorous book with a lot of new feats or paths or anything like that, even stat blocks. It really is just sort of like a summary understanding of dragons in the world of D&D. So, but nevertheless, great to see these books on the shelves. I'm sure that they will both enhance D&D experiences all over the place at tables and whatnot. So really thankful again for Wizards for sending these over, and especially the Bigby Glory of the Giants. This is a fantastic addition to your library if you are looking for a way to incorporate giant lore and mythos, and the additional feats and everything are super, super cool. So very, very excited for that one. And yeah, look for them wherever you get your tabletop games. Again, if you have followed our content or seen our stuff before, thank you again for coming back and checking us out. If you haven't, feel free to follow and check us out at thegeeklygrind.com, where you can escape your weekly grind. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Happy adventuring. Bye.